Hello, everybody. I'm Superintendent Maldonado, and today I'm here with Mrs. Curtis, the amazing librarian for La Cumbre Junior High School. And as I've been telling everybody at every school, this winter break, I'd like to challenge all of us to unplug from these devices. Let's put them away for winter break, and let's really focus our attention on how we can unplug these, unfold books, so that we can really go to other places that our devices don't really need to be a part of. So with that said, Mrs. Curtis, what recommendations would you have for a family that wants to engage in reading during winter break?
Well, I have some great junior high recommendations. These are ones that I just recently read. The first one that I want to recommend is called The Warrior's Heart by Eric Greitens. And this was a super surprising book for me. It's about this man's journey to becoming a Navy SEAL. And my brother went through this same journey, so I thought I knew what this was all about. And actually reading this, I learned so much more. It was really interesting. So he's just a regular teenager who loves to read and box, and he gets involved in volunteering at a local homeless shelter and really feels the call to serve. And so throughout high school, college, and even graduate school, he volunteers at refugee camps around the world in like war-torn areas, and particularly serving children in these areas. And he saw all the trauma and the tragedy that went along with this, and he felt like this really wasn't enough to help after the fact. He really wanted to protect. And so that's sort of how it was his journey to becoming a Navy SEAL. And then it documents his journey really in depth, the process of becoming a Navy SEAL, which was fascinating. And then even after he gets out of the Navy and starts his own nonprofit, continuing to serve other people. So this was adapted to a young adult book, and it's a narrative nonfiction, so it reads like a fiction, and it's just really compelling. So I really, really enjoyed this one. That's that one. And then switching gears here, I don't know how to say her last name correctly. I'm not sure. Ruta Sepetys, maybe? She's a fantastic writer. She writes historical fiction. This is her newest one, Salt to the Sea. And I gobbled it up as soon as I bought it. I haven't even processed it yet. That's how selfish I was. I read it first before I gave it to the kids. And this is the story of four teenagers fleeing Eastern Europe in World War II. They're all from different countries, and their paths cross as they're trying to get to this boat for refugees to safety. And it's based on a true maritime tragedy that you'll have to read to find out what happens with the boat, if you're not aware. But anyways, it really is interesting. So it's told in alternating perspectives. Each chapter is the perspective of one of the teenagers. And you really get a feeling of how war affects them. And I don't know, I'm not really doing a good job on this, but it's a heavy book. It's not lighthearted, but really powerful. So I really—
The human story.
The human story,
condition.
very much so. And
Okay.
really interesting to see teenagers' perspectives
Yes.
on this. And they're alone, and each of these teenagers is carrying a secret too, and on their journey. But anyways, this is very good. She's a beautiful writer, and I also love historical fiction, so I'm a little biased there. That's that one. Okay. And then the last one I want to recommend, I just finished this one. This was so fun. It is an adventure thriller fiction, and it's called The Thieves' Gambit by, I think I'm saying this right, Kavion Lewis. And this is the first in a series. And it's about, her name is Ross, the main character is Ross, and she's a teenager in a family of master thieves. And they're like world-renowned, she's best in the world. And but she just wants to be a normal teenager. She doesn't want to have this fear. She just wants to hang out. She wants to have a boyfriend and all this stuff. So she is on a heist with her mom, who's also a master thief. And her mom gets kidnapped, and they demand a ransom of $1 billion. And as good as the thief she is, she could come up with that money, but not in the time that they demand it by. So her only option is to enter this international heist competition for teenagers. And the winner gets to pick one wish, and they'll grant that wish. And so, of course, she's there with other teenagers, and there's lots of twists and turns. She has to figure out who she can trust, who she can have an alliance with. And as any good young adult book is, there's always a romance brewing in the background on that one.
Yes.
And it ends on a cliffhanger, definitely a surprise. And then the book 2 is already out, and I don't know if there's going to be more than that.
Really great recommendations, very unique, and it gives me great insight into all the amazing things that you're curating for the children at La Cumbre Junior High School. We want parents to know, the community to know, we have great librarians, great collections of books, and great ways that we want to really have everybody become a reader. I like to say readers are leaders. And so please take a look at these books. Enjoy reading. You can have your kids read it. You can read a second copy of the book and discuss it. It's a great way for families to come together during the holidays.
And